Hi, this video is for people wanting to grow their skills and tools that they can use for self-regulation. So if you're a family pattern breaker, it's often that you're going to run into these, um, you know, uh, old patterns are going to bump into what we want to have instead, and we'll need to be able to interrupt those, and we'll need to be able to be with them. And so this practice, just body awareness, is about being with something that doesn't feel great. And it doesn't have to be something that's incredibly painful. We don't want to quite go that far, but if we can kind of take a breath, notice our internal world, just turn towards ourselves with our awareness, and without any intention to change yourself or to shift anything. This is just a practice of being with. We can turn our attention inward. We can notice a place in our bodies that either aches or feels a little uncomfortable or might be very tired. And so just notice a part of your body. Maybe your wrist is a little sore, or maybe your belly feels like it has a little bubble in it or something. Maybe your back feels like it's feeling that pressure of having leaned over your desk all day or something. Just noticing what part of your body doesn't feel amazing. And then just meeting it there, allowing it to be. Sometimes it helps to put your hand on your heart again, just bringing that attention toward your own body. And just locating that and letting your attention sort of sit down next to it. So you can kind of imagine it's kind of a sleeping dog or something, and your attention is going to walk up and just sit down next to this sleeping dog. You're not going to wake it up. You're not going to make it move. You're just going to be there. And sometimes just your simple presence will start to make it change. It might change in quality. So it might be asking you, like I'm noticing soreness in my wrist. So it might be asking me, I can feel my body kind of wanting me to hold my hand in a different way. So I might flipping it over in my lap right now. That feels a little more comfortable. So I can respond to the cues I get from my body about how I might be able to be more comfortable with that thing, but I'm not really trying to, my intention isn't to change it, my intention is to respond to it. And so we can just do this in our body. Sometimes it's helpful to take a breath and kind of direct the energy of the breath towards that thing. So I might breathe in with just that focus on my wrist. And when I let go, I might just, when the exhale comes, I might just like see if I can relax it anymore, if I can let something go. If I don't get a response to that, I might breathe in and imagine that the breath that I'm bringing in, that energy, is opening up space around the part that doesn't feel well. We're just making offerings and seeing what response we get. Right? So this is a way that we can begin to relate to our own body. And it has everything to do with our intention, right? Because we are trying things. We are responding to sort of this sense like, oh, I really want to turn my hand over so my wrist feels different, right? And yet I'm not going after fixing it. My goal is not that I walk away at the end of this where my wrist feels perfect. But what I'm doing is I'm trying to get to know my wrist. I'm trying to get to know what it wants, how it feels the most comfortable, what it responds to. And so I'm building this inner relationship with my body. And this practice, it can be very quick, but this practice over time, doing it over and over again, trains our nervous system in a few ways. It trains us to be willing to be with something that feels uncomfortable, which is often avoidance is part of an old chaotic family pattern. And it often leads people to feel neglected. And so if that's a pattern we're trying to break, then this ability to just cozy up next to something that doesn't feel amazing and just be there, and to potentially make offers, or maybe really just to sit and breathe next to it. It can be really simple. That gets to build that nervous system muscle of it's okay to be with something that doesn't feel amazing. I don't always have to feel great. Um, and that will eventually translate out into our ability to be with people who they don't feel great. They're grieving or they're upset or they're angry. And we can start to hold our own space and our own rhythm of breathing and our own regulation, even as we sit with something that's feeling less regulated than we are. So this is one of the ways that we become an anchor for other people. It's one of the practices of Mountain Mother presence. And it also is a pause. It allows like a reset for, we are interrupting the old patterns that might try to take us into avoidance or fixing or making something happen and trying to push towards an intention. So it interrupts those patterns. And then what it does is it redirects to the pace of the thing that actually doesn't feel great. So it redirects toward the pace of the one that needs the most support or togetherness or maybe help. But we get to help after we get to slowing down and being with and noticing and listening, right? So this is the practice that really embodies and helps us hone some of those Mountain Mother qualities. So I hope that helps.